Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And we are asking you to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out. Today, we will be talking about Factory Funner. This is designed by Corne von Morcel. The artwork is by Nigel Sussman, and it is published by BoardGameTables.com.
First, there was Factory. Then there was Factory Fun. Then there was Factory Funner. But now we have Factory Funner again. This is the newest version of this game, Factory Funner. This is a tile-laying game where you have all these different engines, or these machines that you are trying to connect to these various power supplies. And if you are able to combine them all, spit out victory points, it's a beautiful thing. Let me show you how it works. All right, here's our setup for Factory Funner. Every player is going to have their own player board. There's two sides to it. There's the A side and the B side. The B side, all of them are different, and they are all more challenging. So for your first couple of games, we recommend starting with the A side. All of your players are also going to get one of each of the four colors, as well as 3 of the white reservoirs. Then as a supply, what we're going to have is we're going to have a whole bunch of these different pipings, as well as some black reservoirs, and we have some black tier tokens that are going to, I'll show you how to use those in a little bit later on. We've got our score track up here. We do start with 10 points because you can lose points. Then we have some kind of first and last tokens, and I'll show you how to use those in just a moment. Every player is going to be given a stack of 8 of these machine tiles face down. You're going to kind of shuffle them up, and then to start the game off, each round what we're going to do is every player is going to say, 1, 2, 3, go! And they're going to put them out there like that. So that way everybody puts out 1 based on the number of players. Those are going to be your choices for that round. And everyone in real time is going to look at them and select one of them by touching it. Now we are going to say, this is the one we want, so we're going to touch it. And that is now ours. But maybe we were the first ones to grab it. So you know what? We're going to have a 1-point penalty on our score. Someone else might choose this one. Somebody else might choose this one, whoever's last. They're going to take that bonus, that kind of benefit there. They get a +1 point at the end of their machine. All right, now the real-time aspect of the game is over for that round. What we're going to do is we are going to place our machine somewhere on our board. Wherever we place it, it is going to be there permanently. So let me kind of show you the what this looks like. We have the inputs represented by dots. So this needs 2 yellow and 2 pink inputs, and the output is shown by the numeric number there. So this is going to put out 2. So if we put it on there, we can put these out there as well. Every item that we place there is going to be worth 1 point as a cost. The points in the middle are what it's actually going to give us. In this case, it's going to be 8 points. Every other little piece of piping or reservoirs, all that stuff is going to take away points. So let's just put it out there. These give out an infinite number of inputs. So putting this right there is going to give us more than enough to cover our 2 inputs that we need. Putting this over here gives us more than enough inputs that we need. So now we have all the inputs that we need. We also need to put our outputs somewhere. So our outputs are going to go into our reservoirs. So now we have satisfied this machine. We've got our 2 yellow inputs, we've got our 2 pink inputs, and we have someplace to put our 2 blue outputs. So now what we're going to do is we're going to count up how many things we used and give ourselves our points. We had 8 points minus 1, 2, 3. We're going to give ourselves 5 points. Now that first round was easy. We only had, we had the whole board to work with and not many challenges. But from here on out, that machine needs to stay right where it is. Everything else can change, but that machine needs to stay exactly where it's at. So the same thing, everybody's going to pick the top pile of their deck, and they're going to say, 1, 2, 3, go! We're going to flip them over, and the same thing as before. We're going to select one as fast as we can that we think we're going to be able to use well. So, oh gosh, what are we going to do? Oh, we're going to take this one. And then, of course, these are going to get dealt out as well. And once more, as before, whoever gets the first one is going to get a penalty. Whoever gets the last one gets a benefit. All right, so now we've got to figure out a way to incorporate this into our structure here. Now, it's worth 9 points, which is great. But again, every time we remove something or move something, we're going to have to pay for that in points. Now, if you leave something exactly where it's at, does not cost you any points. If you pick something up off the board, it does not take any points. But placing something back on the board or replacing something that was still on the board costs you 1 point per tile. We can actually pick this one up off the board. What we're going to see here is this needs a 2 input of blue. So this actually works out great. Our machine before makes a 2 input of blue. So we're just going to do that right there. But now we need to place this one. Our inputs are going to happen there. And we still need an input of 2 of our yellow over there. We're going to find whatever pieces we need, and we're going to add it together. So we had 9 points, and we had to add in 2 pieces, so a total of 7 points. I'm going to add that to our score, and we keep on doing that again. We're going to do a total of 8 rounds. This one happened to be kind of work out pretty easily, but there's going to be situations where it's going to get very, very, very complicated. We're going to have things way out here. We're going to need to add in our blue and our green power sources. We're going to need to wrap around yellow sources all the way over here, pinks maybe all the way over here. Who knows what it's going to look like? We're going to use all these little bits in the most inventive ways we possibly can, using as few pieces, but still maximizing our output in order to score those. If you ever have a situation where one of your machines is powering another one of your machines, you need to grab one of these little black dots over here and put it on the board. At the end of the game, it's going to be worth an extra 3 points, which is great. Pieces can cross over one another, so if you ever have a situation where you need to do something like this, that is totally legal. What you can't do is you can't have something going to the exact same spot of the board. So you couldn't do something like this because they both kind of go into that same corner. But there is every shape imaginable you can possibly think of. They basically have it all figured out. Every single shape you could possibly need, there's a piece for it here in the tray. Some machines will have a black output like this. And when you use one of those, what you have to do is you have to use one of these black reservoirs. That's showing this kind of like an end production situation. So you have to be able to have one of those black ones. You only ever have 3 of the white ones that house the colors, but the black ones are considered infinite, and you grab those from the supply over here. If you are ever just unable to place one of your machines, or it would just cost you a whole lot of money in order to place it, you'd actually end up losing points, you can choose not to place your machine. However, you have to pay 2 of the victory points, $2 of the dollars, in order to not place that. The exception being if you are the last player who was choosing one of the machines that was out there. In that case, if you were the last player, you do not have to pay that $2 penalty if you cannot place it profitably. There is a variant where there's the no speed required. Basically, that whole kind of little in-between round thing where you do that real-time choosing of the machines. You basically do away with that, and you basically just take turns choosing as starting players, and it rotates around. At the end of the game, you will have had 8 rounds where you have, total up all your machines. Then for every one of those little black chips that we add onto the board like we have there, we're going to add 3 more points, $3 more, and whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins.
Oh my goodness. The machine artwork on this was hilarious for me. It was very tongue-in-cheek about what all the machines were making, and there was a name. Every machine in this game had a unique name to it of what it was doing, and the picture associated with that name in a very funny way. After we played the first game, I just was taking all of them, and I was looking at all the tiles to see what they were making and what they were creating. There was like a bagorama, and it was literally just a bunch of paper bags in this machine. I enjoyed that so much.
Which is hilarious. That shows the difference between us. I just saw the inputs and the outputs. That's all I saw. I like how in this game there was the easy board, which just had one obstacle kind of in the middle of it.
Yeah.
But then on the opposite side of them, and there's 6 boards, every single one of them is different. There's a B side. So if you're playing with someone who's really familiar with the game and someone who's brand new to it, you could have them at, one person playing the easy board, one person playing the challenging board. Or if everyone's wants to step up for a more challenging situation, everybody can play the B side. So that was a really cool way to kind of balance things out as well as make it a little bit asynchronous because they're all different on that B side.
Yeah. I really liked how you took your machine tiles, right? So you all have this stack and you're flipping them over and you're kind of just going at random and grabbing that. And I thought it was excellent and how that was managed and how it affected you later on. Like if you were the first one to grab a tile, especially if you know kind of what you're looking for and you know what's out there and you just want it, you automatically get -1 point. And here's what's hilarious about that is sometimes you're like, this is the one I needed, but your brain mixed something up, and the only way you can even take that tile is if you end up getting -points to place all the pipes around anyway, but you just saw that and you took it. Or if you really didn't know what you needed or you just wanted to place it out, if you took the last tile, you don't get punished if you have to get rid of it. So I just really liked how that worked out. It's such a short 20% of the gameplay time-wise, but I really enjoyed that.
As far as those different connection pieces between the power sources and the machines themselves, there's every single connection piece that you can imagine. So if you want to have all of your machines connected to that one blue power source or whatever, it's totally possible. You can have all these different pipes running off of it. And there was a time where I was like, there's a shape that I really, really wanted and needed. And I'm like, they didn't make that. There's no way they made it. It's whatever. And I sifted through that thing, and eventually I found it. Every single combination of tile pieces that you can think of
that you would need for this.
You would need.
Yeah.
It existed in this game, which I thought was really, really cool. And we used them. There was times where you had to, Y off, these, make all these different things go into different directions and have one power source split off and then split off from there and Y off and do all this crazy stuff and loop around. It was incredible. It had every piece imaginable, and how it all looks when it's laid out. It looks wild and crazy and a lot of fun.
Yeah. It looks like you didn't know how to design a factory.
Yeah, but it was all factory fun.
Yeah.
Fun-er.
You didn't know how to design a factory, but you knew how to design a factory funner.
Exactly.
So we came into a little bit of issues with the rule book of just like wanting things to be clarified, and they weren't clarified in the manner that we wanted them to be clarified in. And that could just be because like we're seeing things that aren't there. We're seeing problems that like don't even exist. But that's just how we are when it comes to rule books, and so we did have a little bit of tripping over that.
One thing I do want to point out is that what I showed you guys, kind of the overview, is there's those wooden trays. Those are really nice. That is an upgradable, purchasable item that does not come in the base game.
Yeah.
It's kind of like an extra insert, basically, that has all the pieces organized out really nicely. So it does not come with the game, but I do recommend it. It made setup a whole lot easier.
Yeah, especially if anything we said sounds familiar, sounds good to you, and you're like, I'm gonna get this. Just get that. Just get that as well.
Yeah, otherwise you're gonna have a billion little tiny pieces.
Yeah.
Rattling around inside of the box.
It was great. It was wonderful. So this game actually gave me Galaxy Trucker vibes in the most wonderful way, because I do enjoy that game, and so it gave me like a Galaxy Trucker light feel, right? Like just with the grabbing of the pieces and then just trying to make things work and being like, is this gonna work? Am I gonna get negative points because of all the pipes I have to use to make this work? I am terrible at that, but I had a lot of fun with that, just trying to manipulate everything and get it to work, and knowing that I wanted this and not actually needing that, and I should not have grabbed that tile, but maybe I can make it work anyway. I really enjoyed that. It was just a lot of fun for me.
This had a little bit of a rough start for me, not fully understanding, not fully clicking. But after about the third or fourth round into it, things then started really clicking in for me. And what helps is too, the first round or two, there's not a whole lot of challenge to it. It's kind of teaching you the game as the game goes on. You only have one or two factories that machines that you need to connect all together. But towards the end, when you have 6, 7, 8 machines out there, then it gets absolutely bonkers. But by then, it's kind of coached you through how to manipulate the board and try to maximize your points.
Yeah.
But also, I want to say that to maximize your fun in this game, forget the points.
Yeah. Just
make a wild, crazy factory full of these insane machines. The more pieces, the better. I know that means less efficient and less points, but you're going to have a ton of fun doing it.
Not necessarily, because you might be able to get those chits to put on the dots.
That's true. So make it efficient, but more importantly, have fun. Connecting all this stuff is just a blast. Trying to make it all work. Score points, that's great, but just have fun.
Yeah. Well, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Again, make sure to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out. Until then, you can find us on TikTok, we're Ryan and Bethany. On Facebook, we're Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews. On Twitter, we're Ryan and Bethany 1. And on Instagram, we are Ryan and Bethany.
You guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.